Someone who was not afraid of the dark side of psychology entered the house, and his brain seemed to soar like the bubbles of wonderful champagne. He arrived exactly where the house stood and began to feel like in a horror novel he had read at night in the darkness and solitude. The house he found was gloomy and mysterious, with dark windows and a door that seemed to never open. As with all the heroes of the best horror stories, he managed to slow down time and contemplate his last words. He thought, what will this house do to me? He knew it was not an ordinary house. He knew it was cursed, and that the spirits living inside it could make him believe in the scariest icon of his nightmares. The darkness inside the house penetrated his soul and made him believe in something far from reality. He couldn't see his mother, his father, his brothers and sisters. Instead, he saw only the shadow that grew bigger and bigger, swallowing the shadow within him. He slowed his breathing and realized that this house was a dark nightmare from which he couldn't escape. He tried to run away, but the walls of the house were too strong, and the darkness only grew stronger. He felt his heart pounding and his limbs becoming heavier, as if they had been replaced by black marble statues. He was terrified because he knew that nothing could stop this nightmare. The darkness inside the house spread, devouring his mind and his soul. He slowed his breathing and finally felt that his heart was about to stop beating. He realized that this house was his nightmare and that he couldn't get out of it. He was already on the verge of death, and the darkness around him became denser and denser. Then, while he couldn't breathe anymore, he suddenly woke up in his bed. He felt his lungs, and his heart was beating normally. There was bright sunlight outside his window, and he realized that it was all just his dream. He understood that it was a nightmare, but at the same time, he understood that this nightmare was telling him something important. He understood that he needed to change.